In 1983, a terrible game called Custer's Revenge was released for the Atari, featuring a crudely rendered General Custer dodging arrows. For surviving the onslaught, he was rewarded with a captive Native American woman to rape, and points for doing so. I'm sure you can imagine how well that went over. Also new in the 80s were MUDs, online text-based games from the day when real nerds roamed the internet. For people in the audience younger than 25, this is what Second Life looked like back in the day. These games might actually have been the birthplace of cybersex, and it's good to see that tradition is alive and well in its grandchildren. Good, and just a little depressing sometimes. Sex games continued to pop up here and there for almost every game system, but this trend hit a small roadblock in 1985, the year Nintendo released their first home console. Determined to maintain the integrity of their image, Nintendo prohibited games with sexual content from being released on the NES. From this point forward, consoles and mainstream games in general would remain mostly free of explicit sexual content.
It kind of makes you wonder about swinging that Wii around now, doesn't it? Yeah, I knew I could get a joke in there somewhere. I'm Brooks and it's Friday. Welcome to the Friday Games edition of Mediatek. Today it's all about the PlayStation, mainly because, well, Sony kind of made it that way. There was all this hype going around the interwebs this week speculating that Sony was finally going to drop the price of the PS3. I mean, they even had Callie fooled.
There is huge speculation about a major PS3 price drop announcement happening tomorrow, so if you're wanting to improve your vision, you might want to wait.
Now, maybe it was Sony's lame attempt at an April Fool's prank, but the announcement actually had to do with the price of the PS2 dropping.
Yesterday, I said there was a rumor that Sony would be dropping the price on the PS3. Sony denied that later in the day, but it turns out they are dropping the price on the PS2 below $100.
So I wasn't really sure how dropping the price of the PS2 would help Sony out, seeing as there's, generally only a few games released each month for it, and most of which being movie tie-ins or sports games or PSP ports. Luckily for me though, we have Kotaku. A recent post explains how lowering the price of the PS2 puts it in direct competition with the Wii for casual gamers, and how ultimately these gamers should and will graduate onto the PS3. Makes sense to me, I guess. Well, if you are a PS3 owner, then I highly suggest you download the latest version of the firmware, version 2.70, which was just released this week. Some of the new features include text chat with up to 15 gamers at a time, a friends list on the XMB, and improved storage solutions for video content. What I love about Sony's PS3 updates, though, is, well, they do all the work for me.
There are a lot of great features in this firmware update, and the first of which is text chat. So let's take a look at how this works. So in order to start a text chat, you can go down to your friends list, and you can click on a friend, or you can click the triangle button on a friend, and that's what I'll do here, and we'll try to start a chat with Jeff. And I'll click on Start New Chat over here on the screen. And then it'll give you a choice between text chat or audio-video chat, so I'll hit text chat in this case. You can name the chat room. Here I'll just use the default text chat, and we'll jump in. And now once you're in here, you can start typing messages, and any second now Jeff should accept my request for chatting, and let's send him a message. I'm using the PlayStation 3 keypad, which is a great way to do this, but you can also do this with a USB keypad or Bluetooth keypad.
Thanks guys, nothing better than getting something for free, right? Which is exactly why you should all be watching GamesWeasel TV this week, because it might be your last chance to get a copy of Wheelman for the PS3. For free. Yeah, you like how I did that, right?
Now's your chance to win one of 5 copies of Wheelman for the PS3. It's the new game of the movie starring Vin Diesel, and to stand a chance of winning, just answer this simple question. Which of these movies did Vin Diesel star in? Is it A, Alone in the Dark, B, Pitch Black, or C, The Descent? If you think you know the answer, just go to the website at gamesweasel.com/competitions, where you will of course find full details on how to enter.
You've got until April 13th to enter and win, so head over to Matt's competitions page for more details. And last but not least, I thought I'd leave you with an interesting little poll posted on Kotaku that just came out from the UK, which asked the question to over 1,100 men in relationships: which would you prefer, sex with your partner or an evening playing video games? The answer? 32% of these guys said they'd rather play video games. I mean, 32%! And if you think that's bad, they went even further by asking another question. Which would you prefer, sex with your partner or an evening of playing a new video game? Go on, take a guess. I'll wait. If you guess 72%, you're a winner. Or a loser. I don't know. 72% of guys in relationships said they'd rather play a new video game than have sex. I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out why you can't have your cake and eat it too, but I guess that's just how I roll. Yo, that's how I roll.
No, I asked you, how do you roll?
Yo, that's how I roll.